Hi, so in the first video we talked about why you'd want to be an expert on TV news. And now we're going to talk more about how to make it happen. So let's talk about the reporters who do the news stories and what they want. Now, surprisingly, these news reporters are typically very hungry for news stories. Imagine every single day you have to come up with unique and interesting news stories, things that happened that day, evidence, facts, breaking stories, all this kind of stuff. But it's quite a challenge to have to create new and unique content every day. So they need experts like you. The other thing that reporters have to do is they can't give opinions. So if there's been a big story that affects your industry, whether it's law or accounting or whatever it may be, something that you could speak about, is they don't want to give their opinion. They want to bring in an expert who can talk about that can talk about what it means and translate. And that expert is the voice for the news story, and that's you. So how to get started? Your very first news story is always going to be the hardest. Once you do one, it gets substantially easier, and they typically start to come to you after a story or two. So after a while, you no longer have to do anything. They know you're the expert on that topic, and they share it with other reporter friends. So after a while, anytime a story has anything to do with your industry or even close to it, they call on you. The first thing I suggest you do is go to various news sites and newspapers, TV sites, whatever it may be, and collect as many reporter emails as you can get. News stations have a lot of reporters, so if you can get 10 or 15 different email addresses over their About Them section for various reporters and search for them for each station, before you know it, you have 50 or 60 email addresses. Then you need to pitch them something in an email. Keep the email super simple, just a list of a couple bullet points of things that you can talk about that's relevant. So what can you talk about that's relevant? So in every industry, there is something that people out there on the news would want to know. So let's say you are a wedding planner. Well, what could you possibly have on the news about being a wedding planner? Hurricane season's coming up. How does hurricane season affect your wedding? What does it mean if your wedding gets canceled? What if you're an accountant? Is there any new tax laws out there? Is there anything that affects your return? What about various times of the year? Is it near April 15th? Is it near the end of the year? Is it near when Congress is coming out with something that they should know about? Pitch that little brief idea in a sentence or two. If you're an attorney, every day there's all kinds of legal things that are happening and cases that are out there. One thing you can do is set up a Google alert. For free, Google will let you set up alerts, and you can put in your profession and what you're doing, and anytime a breaking news story happens about that topic, you get notified. And it's a good chance to fire off an email that says, hey, I can speak to this, and here's what people need to know about this. And if you can make it an interesting little sentence and something exciting and relevant, you'll probably get a call back. So what do the reporters want? They want the expert. That's you. Whatever field you're in, you are the expert, whether you think of yourself that way or not. If you've been doing this for a few years and you've had education in this and you've helped people in your industry, you are in fact an expert. The only catch that the news reporters have is it's usually time sensitive. It's not unusual for them to reach out to you for a story or reply to one of your messages at noon and want to have it on the news that day. They can come to you. They may ask you to come to the studio. The important thing is they make everything else super easy. They're very accommodating. They want to promote you. They want to work with you, and they want to make you look good. So if your cell phone rings while they're asking you a couple questions, they edit that out. If you stutter a little bit or you're nervous, they ask you more questions until you calm down. The idea is they want you to come off as a great expert, and they do everything possible to make you sound great. It's uncanny how many times I've done interviews and thought, boy, that went terrible. I was stuttering. I was talking too fast. I had a spot on my shirt, whatever it is. And then I see the news story and I'm amazed by how brilliant it came out. So don't worry about all those details. Just make yourself available, pitch some stories, and you're going to get calls. Thank you.